Hello and welcome to another MES tool release highlight video for fall 2022 release. And today we're going to look into the MES Quality Commander. And I have Björn here with me from the MQC team. Hello, Björn.
Hello, Jan.
So the latest release is the MES Quality Commander 6.2, and I'm quite excited on the new features that we're going to discuss today. And I think we are going to start with a feature that automatically updates the data of projects in the background. But Björn, maybe you can explain a little bit more about this feature and how we can use it in MQC.
Yeah, well, let me share my screen, then I can show you the tool. Maybe I should start this way. There are two use cases when we are talking about the update of a project in case of any data changes, like, for instance, new commits in the Git repository or new reports within a directory, which is monitored by MQC. The first use case, and this is what we did, is that you open a stored MQC project, maybe in the morning when you start working, and during the night there were some new reports created, for instance, by the CI, and stored inside the data source monitored by MQC. In this case, you probably don't want to first manually refresh your project, but rather have it already up to date when you open it. For this, we added an automatic server-side update, which can be controlled here in the tool via the settings dialog, as you can see here. This means there's a job on the MQC server that runs periodically and that checks for each project stored in the server library if there are any data updates available, and if so, then imports the new data. This saves time, even if the import meanwhile is quite fast, and in any case just applies the delta, but anyhow, it helps you to skip this step when opening a project and then to directly start your analysis. So that's the first thing. Yeah.
Yes, so basically, I guess we agree that this should be some kind of default setting as a recommendation from us from any projects, because you would assume that every time you want to work with the dashboard and MQC, that of course what you want to look at is the most recent data updates, right?
Exactly. So the default is really set that the project is updated by the server background update job.
So what is the second use case then for the updating?
Yeah, the second use case is that you are actually working with MQC, and then you probably don't want to be disturbed whenever something happens in the background. So for this, you will be informed directly inside MQC about any new data. So look at the top left corner here. There is a short message, and in case of something was added to a monitored directory, it is stated here. And if there is something added, then it's no longer data up to date, but data has to be refreshed. And the button is no longer grayed out, and you can click it to directly import the new data. Or if you don't want to do this, you just leave it as it is until you finished your current analysis. But this is this was already the case before. So we just added the automatic server site update so that you always start with most recent data inside your analysis.
So to wrap it up, basically this new added feature makes sure that if you have centrally stored projects on the MQC server, that every time you open them, they have up-to-date data, because this is what you would like to look at in a default case. Whereas while you already are working on an open MQC project and you may have already applied some filters or you wanted to look into some details, you don't want to be surprised by some kind of a data refresh, but rather be informed that now you could update if you liked, because there is a new set of data available and you are not working on the most current data anymore. But maybe for the detail that you're looking into it, that might not be relevant. So it's good that you are informed and it's just not just automatically performed,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the case. Exactly.
Right, great. Well, thanks very much for the insight into that new feature. So it really makes it much easier to work in MQC projects. And there is another feature that is new, another highlight we would like, or I hope you are going to show us in this meeting today, with regard on how the distribution on the bin distribution visualization has been implemented now, including milestones. And maybe Björn, you can explain a little bit more around why we would need milestones and what the difference are, and basically how we can have a look now into the visualization here.
Okay, so back to MQC. Hope you can see it now again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you may already have noticed the adapted look of the bin distribution chart before. To be honest, meanwhile, we don't want to miss it again because it really provides a benefit when trying to give an overview about all the revisions shown in MQC. I mean, what you can see here right now is just our showcase with not that much revisions. But imagine you have a project running over, for instance, 2 years or so, and then you will see just a lot of small bars here on top of the page in the distribution chart. So what have we done? You said it. We added the configured milestones as vertical separators here between the revisions, which already provides you a better structure of your timeline, as you can see. And additionally, each of these time frames can be collapsed and expanded so that you just keep the last, or better name it, the most recent revision before such a milestone. The second thing is that we added the overall quality. That means the aggregated quality consisting of all the quality values for all artifacts here as a trend line into this distribution chart. Remember, the distribution chart just groups the quality values according to a traffic light color scheme to give you a better overview about all the quality values. But nevertheless, behind these categories, like good, acceptable, bad, or something like that, there are value ranges. So the trend line indeed actually shows you the real quality, and you have both information inside this chart now.
All right. And maybe could you just quickly explain once more, a milestone is a point in time that you can define for your project, right?
Exactly.
And
so you have your project structure, and there you can add a milestone configuration, and you can say you can define a specific point in time during your project runtime as a milestone, and that means that MQC assigns revisions, points in time where data is collected, to a milestone. That means everything after the last milestone and before the next milestone belongs to that milestone phrase and can be collapsed and expanded for that milestone here. That's the definition of milestone revisions in MQC terminology.
It's a very good way to structure long time frames, basically, and make them more accessible here to see the data that is relevant for you, as you explained before.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. Well, great. Thank you very much, Björn, for this insight here in MQC. And of course, everybody is invited to check out the latest version and request a demo copy of MQC to try out our dashboard and the new features on your existing projects. And for that, please contact us via our website or via this email, or for those of you who received the Tool Update newsletter, also via the Tool Update newsletter. And with that, I would like to thank you very much, Björn, for joining me here today.
You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure to talk about the latest release features, and everybody who's listening, I hope you are also checking out our other tools release highlights. And of course, there will be a next update for the winter release in 3 months roughly, where we have another nice overview of the then upcoming features. But until then, thanks again, Björn, and goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.